United We Om is a 501c3 nonprofit sharing accessible yoga and meditation with trauma-impacted and under-resourced communities. All of our workshops and trainings are offered by donation with no minimum donation. Your donation directly supports our mission of making the benefits of practice available to everyone. Thanks to supporters like you, we've continued to provide practice virtually throughout the pandemic. Learn more and support our work at unitedweom.org. Thank you.
So this third practice is actually something I think is a lot of fun. It can be a little bit difficult if you're having any sort of nasal issue, like if you're allergies or you have a little like stuff going on in your nose. It can be difficult. So I would definitely suggest you either blow your nose or do this on a day when your allergies aren't active. But again, just something to be aware of. I like it because it's called the bunny breath. My wife introduced me to this breath. She used it with children, but I found it to be something that was also super helpful for adults. It may have another name, but I just think it's a really interesting breath to practice and play with as a way to see, like, how does my body respond? So you start just by like literally wiggling your nose. And what I like about this is that it gives us some attention and gives us a little bit of practice focusing on our nose, which is one of the most important parts of our breathing apparatus, right? And so how the breath works is you inhale sharply 3 times, and then you exhale long through your mouth. And so it kind of sounds, I don't know, maybe you can hear this, but it kind of sounds like this. And so it's a sharp inhale 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale long. And again, this is something for you to see, okay, how do I feel on my inhales? Is it giving me more energy? Is it giving me too much energy to the point of anxiety? Is my exhale long enough? Do I want to lengthen my exhale? So again, this is like an experimental situation, right? Give yourself play and freedom to experiment, right? So let's try the inhale again. Inhale 1, 2, 3, and then exhale long. And one more time, inhale 1, inhale again, inhale the 3rd time, and then exhale through the mouth, long, slow, and smooth. And then return to your normal breathing. Again, this might be something that you want to think about a little bit more. Are the sharp inhales something that I enjoy? Are they giving me energy? Are they slowing me down? Is my exhale at the end long enough? Again, this is a tool that you can use during your practice. And then starting to figure out when this tool is the right one to use, right? Like, you know, there's always that analogy of a toolbox. So yeah, the analogy of the toolbox, it's this idea that every tool in your toolbox has a specific purpose. And I would say the same thing about meditation and breathing. Each of these breaths, each of these meditations has a specific purpose. And what I've found through my practice is that the purpose that someone tells me that these tools have may not be how I feel or the result of, right? If something's supposed to be calming, maybe it made me anxious while I was doing it and had the exact opposite effect. And in that case, I had to tell myself, don't just do it to do it. I have to pause and I have to think, why am I doing this if it's not supporting my best self, right? And so through that, I've started to kind of experiment with different practices and see how I respond in kind of like low key and it's not high stakes, right? So when we practice in our own homes, we get the benefit of being able to say, well, this doesn't work for me. And so if I go into a class or if I'm listening to some sort of meditation, I know that like this one is not going to work for me today. Maybe I'll try it tomorrow, right? See if I'm feeling a different way, because our emotions are really connected to our body and body to our emotions. And for me, I just didn't want to do what other people were telling me to do just to do it. I wanted to have an awareness, and I wanted to have some autonomy and choice. And I felt like once I learned what was good for me in different ways, I was able to kind of experiment more because I knew how to experiment, right? And so I kind of encourage that. Obviously, be safe and don't do anything that, would cause harm, but there's a flexibility once you are comfortable, right? Once you figure out what's good for you. Anyway, that's how I responded. I hope you also feel the same way. Take some time to practice with these 3 breaths and see what works best for you. Cheers.